Hey guys, this is Chauncey with Good Music to Know, and we are here in Berlin with Culture Wars. For their debut album, Don't Speak. We're super excited to have the boys on. So how are you guys feeling?
Pretty good. Just got here and landed to Berlin being sold out. So that'll work.
First time in Germany.
Yeah, very cool. So I went back last night, I listened to the entire debut album, which, like, kudos, really good. And the title, Don't Speak, almost feels ironic because the entire record feels like it exists because someone finally chose to say the things that they had left unsaid. So do you see this album as a conversation that never happened, or is it something else?
For me, the album is just kind of like autobiographical, so I don't know. I mean, I would say like the song Don't Speak is kind of, I guess, about like, you know, when to speak and when not to, when to, you know, is it the right time to say something kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the rest of the album is kind of just autobiographical, really. So,
So what made you name the album, like, Don't Speak, just out of curiosity?
I mean, we had an original name and then we changed it. I think the idea with it was, well, Dave, that was you, so maybe you want to take the baton.
It's just, we had it, like, when we first went into making this album, we had a name, and then, you know, they always say a band has, you know, 10 years to make their first album. And so by the time we were done with this, we felt like new people and the songs felt different. And after we recorded Don't Speak and had the name, the name fit us in the album better. I think with Don't Speak, kind of, you can take anything away from it that you think, kind of like what your idea was. But also, I think, you know, everyone in the band has their own idea of what it means. In my mind, it's just kind of like, you can have any assumptions of the music or us as a band, but just don't speak, listen to it first, and then you can say it sucks or it's great. So.
Well, it definitely doesn't suck, so
okay.
I don't think anyone's saying that. And the album...
It's the internet. Everyone says a lot of things.
We'll just block that out. That's negativity. And the album definitely feels cohesive, like one emotional journey through missed opportunities. There's heartbreak, there's self-reflection, and then eventually acceptance with the ending track Lies. So was sequencing the record around that emotional progression something you consciously thought about, or did that naturally reveal itself afterwards?
I mean, in the process of doing the album, you know, it was like 4 years and a lot of my life changed. And so I had a lot of growing up to do in between those years and went from kind of not being a derelict, but I wasn't like, or as my wife would say, a dero, but I was fine. But, you know, now I like have a wife and a kid, and like my life has changed a lot. I've become an adult. So in the process of that, writing that album, the songs just naturally became this kind of story of growing up, which wasn't intentional. It's just what had happened. So I guess it's just kind of, it wasn't intentional. Yeah.
It showed itself at the end, the order of the album and everything. And
it's a shower.
It is a shower.
Not a grower. Yeah. It definitely has a nice emotional arc, which I love when you hear albums and there's like a beginning, middle, and end. And I think you guys do a really good job at that. So yeah, it was nice.
Conscious of going in about like the flow of the album. We did talk about that and had discussions, and we wanted it to feel almost like, you know, of course you have to put, you know, your bangers up there, but you wanted everything to flow. Like if you were to play a show or present it, how would you want everyone to hear it? So yeah, it was definitely thought out, like the order that we put it in.
Yeah, even from the order, but also sonically as well. So like you would have like a song that starts off that has like a lot of energy, and it's nice that you kind of have those moments where it pulls back a bit so you can reflect, and then it kind of, you know, so there's also great ebbs and flows along with the storyline. So yeah, it's really good. And the album constantly reminds me of growing up in the late 90s and early 2000s, yet it never feels like it's trying to like imitate that era. So what do you think gives the record that sense of timelessness?
I think the way that we did it was just writing song first and only writing with two elements and being really strict about that, because then you can just do drums, bass, and guitar, and it can be very simple because the song's done. I think that just like the simplicity of that and the strictness of that like allowed us to just be a band and not necessarily have to like create a sound to carry the song, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think when it's simple, it can sound like anything, you know, in the time zone or whatever. I don't know.
We definitely have lots of like 90s and early 2000 influences, and so that is going to show up, but it wasn't, you know, on purpose. So we have to make a song that sounds like this, but you know, collectively as a band, like that is a lot of music that we lean towards and like grew up in the early 2000s, like listening to. So yeah, that's going to come across, but it's going to be coming across in our way and how we like it. So yeah, that's a nice compliment.
Yeah. I think personally, the Cortisol song is one of those timeless tracks that I can see living on forever. It kind of reminds me of like that song Jumper. It has like that effect where this younger generation, is it Gen X, Gen Z? What are they? Well, the gens, they'll still be listening to this Cortisol song. It'll have the same effect. But yeah, that's also one of my favorite songs from the album. But my all-time favorite song from the album is definitely Miley. The drum groove in Miley, when that drum groove comes up, it completely pulled me in. Like, it drives the entire like personality of the song. I was dancing all day to that song yesterday. And the track embraces a much stronger like 80 influence compared to your other songs on the album, but it never feels out of place. So how did you make sure it still felt like part of the same record rather than like a stylistic detour?
I don't know that we did.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that we did. That was one of like the earliest, like one of like the first songs that we had that like set in
2020.
Yeah, like I wrote that drum beat on my iPad on GarageBand, and just like had this other. I attempted to put like other music to it, and I showed the guys, and they're like, I like the drums, cut everything else out and we'll do something different. But I think just that was one that we held on to over the years because we wrote other music and threw it away, but we really liked that one. That one connected a lot with us.
I think, again, like the through line is being able to go, okay, now let's just record it with the band. So even though it has that feel, as long as it's still the same band and instruments and live stuff, like it'll play.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, you say that sometimes bands try to do what you did and it can come across as a bit jarring if all of a sudden you have a bit of an 80s groove. But I mean, it didn't feel jarring, it didn't feel out of place at all. But yeah.
We remixed the whole album. Our guitar player and producer Caleb remixed it, so to make that little more, everything more cohesive, like it's, you want to hear like the rawness and almost like you're hearing it live at the show. So I think remixing Miley 2 also helped it sound a little more natural and not like electronic or anything like that.
Yeah. So by the time we reach Lies, which is the final song on the track, or album, sorry, it feels like there's a shift from trying to make sense of everything to simply accepting kind of where things ended. So was that always how you envisioned closing the record?
That wasn't even going to be on the record. Lies is one of the first songs that the band ever wrote. I guess it would have been like 2017 or something, and we essentially had like ditched it for like the new album, and then I was super annoying about it with everybody and trying to like re-record it because I just felt like, you know, the way we did it originally was like very electronic, and that's what kind of turned everybody off to it. But I was like, yeah, but I feel like it would still work. Yeah. If we did it, now that we know how to do this, why don't we do this, right? And so I was just really, really annoying about it until everyone's like, all right, fine. And then it worked, and then everyone was like happy with it, and then it worked out. But I was saying this to somebody yesterday. I remember, Dave, when you and I, because him and I have like been trying to be in a band together for like 11 years or whatever. So wow. when we first had Lies or whatever, and we would end with it, this is like pre-pandemic, you're like, I can't wait till we have new music. We don't have to end the show with that song anymore. And then when we brought it back, I just started laughing because it came right back.
Yeah, no, I think the new recording brings it to life and has a different meaning, like you said, and I see it that way. And we decide to end with it, like in the show too, as our encore song. And when we were still writing songs for the album, we did say we're going to do Lies, but it's going to be the last song because we want everyone to hear that song last. And I think you're right when it's like a sense of like completion, coming full circle, and you can kind of like take a breath of fresh air and just let it out, and it's done. And it works, and it's a great one live. The crowd gets into it and sings along, and it is it is one of our favorites.
Well, that was actually my next question, even though it's a bit cliche, is what's your favorite song to play live? And what's a song that you notice like really gets the crowd amped when you're out there and you're doing your thing?
Well, the crowd, everybody's always waiting for Typical Ways, so that's understandable. And Don't Speak, and yeah, people kind of get, it like ramps up. But to play live, for me, the singing is like tough on a handful of songs, so I like the ones that are easy to sing. 'Cause I'm like, cool, this is a break for me. So that would be like Slowly's fun because I don't have to do anything. You know, it's pretty easy. That's like my talking register, so that's a little easier. I mean, I have been liking doing It Hurts because that's like a song that, well, yeah, but it's a song that, like, you know, when it came out, like, I don't think anyone really cared that much. And then now we've been doing Europe, UK. And when we play it in the US, like, people like it. But Europe, UK, though, everyone, like, sings it kind of loud. And I was not expecting that. And I'm like, cool, now, like, I like doing this because people like hearing it. So, you know, it's funny how other people's responses can be like, cool, now I have fun doing this, you know?
Well, it's funny how, like, a set list can change because when we first did tours, we started with It Hurts. But this is before, like, the album was out, and then you're opening and people don't know who you are. So, like, you know, if you're opening, it takes, like, multiple songs for the crowd to, like, accept you. And now It Hurts is, like, in the middle of the set, right after, like, a come down, like, and so then, like, it brings it new life. And we were kind of like, oh, this is, like, the perfect spot for it to, like, kind of shine. But as far as your question about, like, the songs we're most proud of, or like playing, last night a lot of fans were coming up and asking, what are your favorite songs, what do you like playing? And I said, I really like playing Tokyo. And they said, oh, that's weird. They said everybody else has said that, the other members that we just asked. So I think that song's kind of special for us. It just has a nice, cool vibe, and it is a more relaxed song live, but it just has, especially as a drummer, it has a nice groove. I also like playing Cortisol a lot too. It's fun when it gets into the outro and has like a big finish, and then we know, like, and then Don't Speak's coming after it, and then, like, it's just gonna, like, turn it up. So I just gave away the entire set list in our plans, so don't watch this part.
If someone listens to Don't Speak from the beginning to end, right, and without knowing anything about Culture Wars, what do you hope stays with them long after the album finishes?
I don't know. I mean, for me, it's just simply like I just want people to enjoy the music and, like, be able to enjoy their lives and kind of decompress. So, I mean, that's really all I would really want, is people just enjoy it and be like, oh, that was a nice break from whatever I needed a break from. And it's simple, but that's just kind of how I am. I don't know.
I think from, like, a musician standpoint and genre standpoint, I would like for people to take away that, like, oh, this type of music is still out there, and new bands like us are still making that kind of music. It's not just like pop music and Sabrina Carpenter and blah, blah, blah. And it's the bands, not just like singular artists, like, are still making, like, good music, and you can find it and the people can listen to it and be like, oh, this isn't overproduced, this isn't fake, it's just like 5 guys just with their instruments, like, actually playing the music. And you didn't really hear that as much. Like, it is coming back, and you're starting to hear that. I mean, you'll even hear, like, pop artists, people are like, oh my god, Post Malone is using actual real instruments on his album now, and people are, like, shocked. I'm like, that's never not been a thing. And I don't know, I think that's the most interesting type of music to me.
Real live band energy is coming back. I'm very excited for it.
So.
Yeah. Well, I think those were the final questions I had for you guys, but are there any final words that you would like to leave for the listeners and your fans?
Well, to just come out to the shows. It's been a lot of fun because we now are in this place where we went from trying to, like, beg our parents and friends to come to shows, you know, a year ago, to now we're selling out, you know, everywhere in Berlin and Stockholm and places we've never been, you know. So it's just, we feel very lucky. So, you know, but if you're looking for a venue with AC, you can come to any of the shows in America. Or just bring a fan, because apparently no one thought this through, you know, when we sell out these rooms and everyone's just sweating through their clothes. But it's still fun. It's still a good time.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, guys. It's okay. I'll cut it.